But yes. Oh, no, don't do that. That's better. Right. Reckless, our newcomer, has got another joke that he'd like explaining. There's a fine line, he writes. There's a fine line between a numerator and a denominator. Only a fraction of people will get this. So, it's sort of a double joke. It's sort of a double joke here. And it all stems from well, not that last word, but that word in that last sentence, a fraction of people. What do we mean by a fraction? Well, we can divide things, can't we? We can cut something in half. And that would be 1 divided by 2. Or this would be 1 divided by 2. And we could cut it up again. And then this would be 1 divided by 4, or a quarter, you see. And we call these fractions, or ratios. We sometimes call them ratios as well. Okay, so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Now, when we write a fraction, it comes in... This has suddenly become a maths lesson, which is appropriate, I suppose. So we have 2 parts to a fraction divided by this line here. This sort of... You can think of this as a divide by line. If you think of the division symbol, which is either that or that, essentially as a representation of a fraction, the division sign. So we have 2 numbers, the number that is being divided and the number that number is being divided by, you see. So we've got names for these, and as the joke suggests, we have a denominator that goes on the bottom. Oh, and off the board, hang on. I'm not going to fit that in now. Denominator. And up here we have the numerator. The numerator. Yes? That's just what they're called, you see. Now, in language, we have this term, a fine line. There's a fine line between something, you see, which suggests that in our taxonomy of all things, 2 things might be so similar that they're only divided by very small criteria, or even criterion. Yes, so in here, in this particular joke, we're suggesting that there is a fine line between numerators and denominators, you see. But of course, in drawing a fraction, we have to involve a fine line, you see. So again, here, the fine line between the numerator and the denominator both refers to the notion of them being very similar concepts, but also the fact that in drawing them out in a fraction, one divides them by a very fine line. So again, that's a phrase that's doing 2 things at once, and therefore eliciting a humorous response. And we just knock that home even further with the follow-on gag. Only a fraction of people will get this, you see, because it's a joke about fractions, you see. And we can divide people. We can think of like 1 person in 10 is a fraction, you see, 1/10 of the people. Mr. Hunt, I think I get it. Good. Or divisor. Divisor's good. Oh, no, I just got here. It was a good 20-second stop class as always. Thank you. So, Reckless, have I explained that joke to your full satisfaction, sir? And can I go home? Jack, for our new maths teacher, isn't it just? That was far too close to actually teaching. Yes, you have. Hurrah! In which case we do this.